Teen action.
Field Trip in the Future in East Harlem
is about making a change
for children all over the world.
It is a shame of how little education children
adults have on children's rights.
Our goal is that the government should bring these rights to light
and available to children and their parents.
We simply want to make these rights available to children
because we need to be heard, not ignored.
We are a group of teenagers working in our community as youth producers.
Our key goals are to use the arts,
writing, and media,
such as video production skills, to educate and empower our community in East Harlem.
Get involved and be part of
future building a future.
Children's rights, I think equality for all children, like the other parts of the world.
It's 200 years. We're supposed to be the forerunners of democracy, and we police the world that's doing so. Thus, it's only right that our own nation has that.
Children's rights should be part of education. I think just like we're teaching algebra and we're teaching chemistry, I think we should be learning about what children's rights are.
Do you know about children's rights?
I don't really know.
No, not at all.
Actually, no, I didn't.
I feel like they should have a right. They should have a right to do everything they want to do.
I don't really know that much.
No, not really.
No, that's not something they teach in the school.
And why is that, you would say?
I don't know. They think it's not important enough.
Do you feel your community is safe from gang activity?
Honestly, no. Only for the simple fact everywhere I go, and even growing up, there was gangs everywhere. You know, and now I see little, like, 11, 12-year-olds throwing up gang signs, and it honestly makes me sad, you know, like.
Well, yeah, it depends on the areas. I mean, certain areas are more high gangs, but around here, around this neighborhood, Stanley Isaacs, there's more police and, of course, parents, and most of the gangs basically, to me, disappeared from the neighborhood.
There's violence everywhere, you know. You can't hide from it, you can't run from it. No matter where you go, it's going to be there.
Yeah, no matter.
Again, going off of what he said about skateboarding, you know, we started skating because, you know, we didn't want to be caught up in that violence, you know.
What comes to mind when you hear the word children's rights? Children being treated equally as everybody else.
Think of things that kids should have and things that people should respect for kids and stuff.
How the world really needs to pay much more attention to children, and that a lot of times decisions are made about children's lives where the children are not really part of the decision-making process. And I truly believe that at every age and stage of a child's development, there is appropriate times and opportunities for children to understand what their rights are and to be listened to so that they are part of their destiny.
I feel that they should have rights for kids. That way they can tell the police what they want. They can tell a congressman what they want.
I think one of the things, and this is what our organization also believes, is that kind of what you're doing in East Harlem is raising awareness about the Convention on the Rights of the Child, raising awareness both through your community, but then telling community leaders about it. And I think really for people to learn more about it in the United States and for it to eventually be ratified, it has to come from Americans. Americans have to say, yes, this is important to us. Until that happens, it's going to be really hard to convince policymakers to do that. So I think American voice is really important in this issue.
But I really hope, and that's probably more of a hope, that all politicians must understand all human rights instruments, including the CRC. You know, so that's more of a hope. And probably you need to answer this to me from your perspective because you're very much from this country. What do you think, and do you think the politicians here really understand what child rights are?
Well, I don't really think that state politicians actually know about it because they never even brought up the issue before. Like, if they was to hear from a child's point of view, they might think, oh, that's nice, but they won't really think about it or anything. So they probably haven't heard about it before, or heard about it, just didn't really care about it.
Sure, educators can help children, but I truly believe as an educator that if children have the right to education in any given community and they're respected, certainly the UN works very hard to help children.
Well, there are different parts. UNICEF itself, our international body, works in over 150 countries and territories around the world, supporting programs in areas such as education, health, health related to nutrition, maternal health, child survival, and so forth. And our role here in the United States is we're one of 36 national committees that supports UNICEF's work through education, advocacy, and fundraising.
Teen Action took their time to educate themselves by learning about the Convention of the Rights of a Child. Every Wednesday for the past 6 months, Teen Action donated their time to different schools and beacons to bring awareness to the East Harlem public of all ages. We were there to make sure kids know their rights.
Well, the only after-school program I go to is Beacon, and I think there should be more like Beacons and after-schools because some people's parents work late, so they need a place where someone can help them with their homework.
Nothing for free in New York except like public parks.
Yep, I'm in a playground right now. I think that's what New York has a lot of, and that's good. That means the city government care about the people. Yet, I feel one thing that should be fair, if you go to certain communities, the playgrounds are to better standards. I feel the playground should have equal standards no matter which side of the borough you're on, uptown to downtown. It shouldn't matter. It should be equal and great playground activities.
But there is a need for, I think, your safe space is a good place to start, and having after-school homework help is a good place to start. But to really get young people to become activists in their community, I think, for young people to discover their passions and discover what it is that they want to be in life, I think there could be more programs.
Sometimes I lay under the moon, I thank God I'm breathing, and I pray don't take me soon, cause I am here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more war, and our children will pay. One day, one day, one day, one day.
Youth participation is central to most of the work which we do when we talk about human rights, and it cuts across all UN agencies, civil society organizations. And I think what is very important is to really youth organizations and youth-led initiatives.
Known as child-friendly communities, and it's complementary to the work that UNICEF has been doing on child-friendly cities, which is really focused on getting local governments to enact legislation and governance structures to support children's participation. And so what UNICEF felt, working in collaboration with a variety of partners around the world, that there was time for a bottom-up approach to educate young people about their rights and to lead a community-level assessment of children between the ages of 0 to 18 about their rights in order to take action in their communities around what young people are saying is going on.
My question is, how do we best get the youth to be engaged with factors such as lack of education and cultural and religion practices? How do we move past that and
and get them engaged, and motivated, because
I feel like the best thing to do in terms of motivation is to relate to them. So have youth talk with other youth and relate.
Express it through education-wise, express it through teachers, giving them different outlets after school maybe, and maybe head towards the parents and tell them, hey, there are many different programs that your child can be in, and it can benefit them as well.
With the organization CTMDREAM, it stands for Data Raised Education Through Arts and Media, and we use exactly that, arts and media, to get kids interested in things that they should be speaking about, such as building child-friendly communities. So put a video camera in their hands, put a photo still camera in their hands, have them build blogs, and use Facebook and Twitter and things that they really like. Meet them where they're at, so we know what they're into. Just use those mediums to have them talk about things that really matter.
But as adults sometimes aren't able to get out of our own head or get out of the space to allow them to actually, we've equipped them with the tool, we've given them the necessary information to actually go out and do it. Now it's us as adults to actually step back and let them do it. That's like a key element, giving them the opportunity and the forum to feel empowered and to be listened to.
States, knowing that we are one of the only 2 countries in the world that have not ratified the Convention on the Rights of the Child, I wasn't sure how it was going to be received by young people and adults in the United States. That our after-school program, which uses this model that we've developed and what has been implemented all throughout the world, really gives me hope that we can ratify the convention in the United States, especially if it comes from young people themselves.
Do you know that the United States and Somalia are the only 2 countries who haven't passed the Convention on the Children's Rights? How do you feel about that?
Actually, I didn't know that, but I think that's not good at all. I think that they should be able to pass it so that kids will know their rights and know what they can do, how to stand up for themselves and stuff, so yeah.
At first, I didn't know that the United States and Somalia didn't have children's rights, but now it's really important because the other state, the other parts of the world, they have it, and not the United States and Somalia, so that's unfair.
It would be cool to do an ongoing project about this, because not only our generation would know it, but the next generation would know it as well.
We'd like to share this project with everyone so that it could expand. So other than school, we would definitely like to expand it to places like our senior centers, our after-school programs, and other neighborhoods. So we would definitely like to expand that, our blogging, our videos, and what we have to offer.
We have a suggestion here. You have 8 volunteers from São Paulo that want to come to New York and help you make
Speak to how important I think it is for this country to get behind any initiative, wherever it's sponsored, in the UN or wherever, that they should champion the rights of children. After all, our children are our future, as we often hear that phrase, but it is the truth. They are our future. They are the future leaders. And if we don't protect them and preserve their rights and provide them with the greatest opportunity to succeed in this country, then we are killing our own future.
Mountains may be steep, rivers may be deep. Just take your time, we will cross with faith in us. As long as the sun shines, there's hope for mankind. We will survive. Yeah. Save the world, save the people. Jam more than ever, your money.